looked like there was video, but it just wouldn't show it. I think
We have technical difficulties.
the stream's just not showing up on the YouTube thing, but when I stopped it and restarted, it was showing video. So I would say we go with it.
All right, the December 23rd, 2024 Ohio Board of Education meeting is hereby called to order at 8:01 a.m. to rise and pledge allegiance to our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Dr. Miller, Superintendent's information.
Yes, I just have a few things. I'd like to thank our staff, students, and families for the many programs, holiday programs that were held, and the community involvement that we've had. We've had several of our students and staff members that have been donating their time for various organizations, and we're proud of all the work they've done. We look forward to the upcoming holidays and anticipating a great new year. When we come back, we'll have benchmarking, and we should have a lot of academic information to share with the board. Thank you.
Terrific. Any questions for Dr. Miller on the superintendent's information? Hearing none, bonus remission. Molly, you're up first.
Okay, great. I'd just like to thank the Bethlehem Apostolic Temple for all that they do for our students throughout the year, but at the holiday time and for their families as well. And I heard great things about Festival of Sound. It's a wonderful event, so congratulations to all involved in that. And I hope everyone has a great holiday break. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly. Ann?
I'd like to say thank you to all the staff and the students of High County Schools for giving us a good year. And I hope that the next year we can improve and get our test scores up. And like I said, without the students, it's just a great athletic choir that everybody, even the students that aren't involved in sports or anything, they're an asset to High County Schools. And thank you.
Thanks, Ann. Andy?
Thank you, sir. Christmas is my favorite time of year, and I mentioned to the board earlier that my birthday, Christmas, and my anniversary all 3 days, but that's not the reason why I like it so much. Ever since I was a little kid, I've had this thing in me about giving gifts. My mother once told me that the greatest gift you can give someone is the gift of yourself. And I think why I'm bringing this up is because I had a talk with Kristen, and what's her? Painter, who is the community and schools person at Woodsdale and at Warwood. And I was amazed to hear some of the work that she had done. And I asked her, I said, how are you raising money and how much did you raise? She said, Mr. Berger, I was soliciting businesses, I was getting donations. I said, so approximately how much? She said, $3,000. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I talked to somebody else, and they were telling me about what Mike McLeod is doing down at Willing Middle School and the impact that he is having on that school. And this is an example of what Ohio County Schools community and schools people are doing. And I want to recognize those people. Dr. Miller, do you think there's any way that we could have them come to the board and talk a little bit about some of the things that they've done over the course of the last couple months, the last year?
I'm happy to invite them to
That
come
would
in.
be wonderful. I think the board needs to hear this, and I think the community needs to know the outreach that we are doing. Schools changed a long time ago. We no longer are responsible for just teaching them academics. We are responsible for the whole child. And that means clothing them, feeding them, providing assistance to them, giving their families support and assistance. And the community and schools people couldn't be a better representation of that. So that would be wonderful, and I'd love to hear that. I too would like to wish everyone a very happy holiday. I mentioned already how wonderful I think Christmas time is. Enjoy your families, enjoy being with your loved ones, and celebrating the holiday season. Finally, I just want to kind of put a bug in everyone's ear. Starting January 17th, Wheeling will be celebrating Martin Luther King. I happen to serve on the Martin Luther King Celebration Committee, and there are events scheduled for Friday the 17th of January, the 18th of January, the 19th of January is the march. I would love to see students get involved in that, and the 20th there'll be a program at Laughlin Chapel for our youngsters, and they have films that they're film festival and essay winners that we're going to announce. And I think it's important that our generation of students now learn a little bit about Martin Luther King and what a great American he was. And that's why I think it's so important that youth get involved in this activity. And finally, again, happy holidays to all.
Thank you, Andy Bernie.
I understand the festival's out, unfortunately I was out of town, but saw some videos that looked quite incredible, so that was congratulations to the high school on that. And just, you know, I've been watching the Facebook page, and just thank you for putting everything on camera. But just everything going on at the different schools, just kind of amazing just to see the joy of Christmas in the kids, so especially the elementary kids. So, but yeah, just happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernie. I want to thank Obie for hosting the state superintendents. They did a great job. Dr. Miller knocked it out of the park with pulling everybody together. From what I could tell, it was an amazing, good event. And wishing everybody a very happy holiday season. Personnel, Dr. Miller.
Yes, we would like to congratulate Gail Adams, who is retiring from position as 200-day adult education instructor assigned to Lily Park High School. Ms. Adams has been employed at the High County Schools for 21 years. Charlene Warden is retiring from a position as a 200-day bus driver. Ms. Warden has been employed at the High County Schools for 14 and a half years. Scott Warden is retiring from a position as a 200-day bus driver. Mr. Warden's been employed at the High County Schools for 18 years. Tina Chandler is being recommended for a position as a 200-day countywide supervisory aide paraprofessional assigned to Elm Grove Elementary School. And Deborah Hamrick is being recommended for a position as a 200-day countywide supervisory aide paraprofessional assigned to the Transportation Department. And all other personnel is presented.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Were there any questions for Dr. Miller? Hearing none, may I have a motion that adopts the personnel as presented?
So moved.
I have a first and a second.
Second.
A first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
All right. Consent agenda, I'd like to pull off paid bills. Anybody want to pull anything else off?
I just wanted to real quick ask about budget supplements and transfers.
Go ahead and hit us with that first.
All right, I saw that we had, money contributed for the Regional Science and Social Studies Fair. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Steve?
It's just a state pass-through that then goes to West Liberty University to help with the regional state.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that they supported that.
they do.
And the National Board reimbursement,
It's just as we pay out reimbursement fees for national board to teachers, the state
the
reimbursement.
state reimbursement. Thank you, that's it.
Thank you. On the paid bills, I had one question for you, Steve. I want to check 1046 with Boswell. Did we figure out how that's going to work going forward? Are we going to do that on an annual basis for based on however many names that come in?
I think that's how you were gonna do it, right?
So, right now, we wanna reopen the enrollment in the spring and do a second additional batch, just because this first batch brought out a lot of additional names, I already have 20. So I'm gonna apply for the LEDA grant again, and then that should offset the majority of the cost. That will input 2 smaller scale monuments, cover that, and then depending on where we are after that, I don't think every year is the solution. I think it's probably every 2 years or every 5 years. We'll need to work together to figure out what that is as the names get smaller. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
Sure. That was my question, because I was 12,000, I would think as it gets smaller over time, that cost would be a little less,
Yes,
and maybe a little easier to raise the money for it.
I would agree.
That's
Thank you.
the only question I had. Andy or Bernie, you have any?
Okay.
After you check.
I just had, on, 222, 320, and 321 for Siemens. So one was for valves, and the other was for the final payment for something. Is that, So we have a maintenance contract with Siemens, is this outside of the maintenance contract?
Yeah.
What was it, any idea? Mr. Paul?
222.
That, the valves and seals was the Bridge Street, and those are replacements. The final payment is, that's retainage that we're paying from a,
Okay.
from a job that had been previously paid.
So the equipment will replace valves and seals, is that, so are they not picking that up on the contract?
No, there are certain things like, where the plumbing and the piping is,
Yep.
that's not covered on
They don't
that.
cover that.
Right.
Okay.
And we have, certain hours that we can use towards that, so that we don't have to pay for the hours, it's just materials and stuff that we're paying for.
Then my other question, and I brought up before, is, you know, the physical therapy and all the the health services I see on here, I just, it hits my mind looking at the dollar amounts, that maybe we should look at hiring somebody and actually employing them versus subbing this out, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, we have a few that we do employ through Ohio County
Okay.
Schools, and then we have, a few that are still under
Yeah.
independent contract.
Okay, I mean, I think we should really look at that, 'cause that monthly number's rather large, and knowing what PT and MTs make, I think there's an opportunity for us to gainfully employ someone and save the taxpayer a couple dollars.
It's something that we have tried in the past.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
The pool of people for what we've been able to pay in the past has been, it's been a small pool. You know, there have been some legal, advantages that have been given to us as of late that maybe we can get a little bit more, but it'd be something to, look into.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Lee, I believe at one time we did have some that were under employment and they left the system, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, so at one time we did
because
have
it's that
that.
dollar amount that they can get per hour if they contract versus
Yeah.
come on board.
That's part of our dilemma right now in education, is we can't find enough certified people in certain specializations, and that has to be one of them. And kids who are on IEP, Leah, that's your expertise, we're required to do, that kind of therapy as part of their educational plan.
Correct. And the individuals that are under contract with us have been with us and know our population, know our students very well, and that's where Steve and I, we've met with them to ask if we would post, you know, can they come on board? So it has been a few years in the making, but we did get, when we had one that retired and left the contract, instead of, you know, finding somebody, recruiting somebody, we just posted. And we were fortunate enough to get somebody on board, so we're trying just to window it that way, to kind of go that way with it.
And the group that you're looking at specifically, I mean, we actually tried to get them on board, they said that
Yeah.
formed an LLC.
Okay.
I think they can make more money outside of the school system, is that not correct?
Exactly.
I would give them a call the day after tomorrow and ask them how they like working, because we don't work on Christmas here. Having worked Christmas Day, it's a lot of fun.
All right, Mr. Scrooge, are you finished?
Did I go, Mr. Brock, I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay, I had a couple questions. 222-228, Boom, BOOM, $22,495.
That's one of our learning platforms that we've continued to evaluate those each year. It was a late one. It's a video system that the teachers use with the kids, and it asks questions and stops throughout the process. So,
I can ask my daughter about that. I can always learn from my daughter, trust me.
Yeah.
She's very good. All right. I guess I could ask her first.
No, it's okay.
All right, thank you. The next one is 222-257, Turn It In, $9,064.
That's a high school, that's another program.
Another program, sis?
that's a plagiarism checker that the high schools used it for years.
Okay, cool. Love the name, Turn It In. Last but not least, 222-312, the outside classroom at West Liberty, are we pretty much done with paying that off? The work on that outside classroom? 222-312.
Yeah, that looks like the whole amount, it looks like they must have passed everything to keep retainage.
Very good.
So,
Good. I know that they love that classroom. All done, sir.
All right, thank you. Andy, do you have anything on any of those?
No.
Molly?
I have a whole, 1072, the pool repair at the high school for 7,000. That's just basic standard repairs and we'll back up and running.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, which one?
Pool
Yeah,
repair.
which pool?
Pool repair.
I'm sorry, check 1072, pool repair for 7,600.
It's on the first page.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, those are full pumps.
Yeah, doing gaskets and stainless steel hardware,
Yeah, it's fixed. and
Strainers,
they're running,
yeah,
And then we
yeah.
have a backup for if it were to happen again.
it's a strainer so that it can be we have an extra one so that it can be replaced quickly if it goes out again.
Okay, so we had one of those, I think, on another recent bill, right, another, just like a backup item that we had purchased?
Correct.
Yeah, this is the backup. The other one was the one that came in so we could get the job done. And then this is the one that was coming in as a backup.
Okay. And then check 2222 for 3 hole and run, for $4,000, says Beyond Ed.
Yes.
Yeah, we
What's that one for?
give them all shirts when they go out into the schools that they wear.
Okay, I've seen those. Okay, those are all the questions, thank you.
Thank you, Molly. All right, so, having discussed the budgets and paid bills, put those back in under the consent agenda, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented? Motion. I have a first and a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes unanimously. There are no delegations, board member comments. Molly, you want to kick us off?
Just hope everyone has a great holiday break. That's it.
Ken?
Same here, I hope everyone has a great holiday and we start the new year out in a good position and, thank you for having this meeting this morning.
Great. Andy?
Again, Merry Christmas, have a wonderful holiday, all board members and administrative personnel likewise. Thank you for all that you do for High County Schools.
Thank you, Andy. Bernie?
Yeah, Merry Christmas, be safe.
I echo all of those. Looking forward to 2025. The future meetings will be Monday, January 13th, 2025. There'll be a regular meeting at 6 p.m. at the board office. And then Monday, January 27th, 2025 will be a regular meeting at 6 p.m. at the board office. There being no further business for the board,